G'day mate and welcome back to another base tour with me, JD. Now, this time we're actually starting in, you've probably seen him if you're active on any of the Discords, right? He goes under the handle of MattP with a string of numbers on the end, alright? But today we're actually touring his base, and I jumped to the map and I was sort of hoping that I'd have a power armor delivered to me because I set up the request and said nothing. Turns out he does have a lovely make everything here, which I've seen before, and I want to say it's a Mojo make everything, but honestly I'm not 100% sure. But the one advantage of this make everything is I can literally come in here and turn on this combinator, and voila, it'll start making all this stuff. Now, providing it's full of speed modules and everything else, which it's not, but it probably doesn't need to be on a single player game, I should have a power armor fairly quickly, I hope at least. In the meantime, let's go for a quick tour of the map. So, we've got your normal mining outposts, and he's dried up a couple of outposts already. Nope, landfill's fine. 68,000, that's enough for one lake or two. Pretty standard outposting, bot mining. I've got to admit, I'm not a fan of bot mining anymore. It seems to be more UPS intensive than belts, mainly because a lot of the miners are running at the same time. The only advantage I give bot mining is if you put a train station on one side and a train station on the other side, you can sort of deplete, it evenly, or even put the train station right through the middle of the actual patch. They're the only things I will give mining, bot mining. He's got nuclear reactor setups. Now, I don't know where I've seen this one again, right? I know MattP's super active in a lot of Discords, right? And I've had enough of a quick look around the base to see, not all of these, but a lot of these are blueprints I've seen other YouTubers, or I've seen on Reddit, or I've seen on Factorio blueprints, which is fine, because there are a lot of very, very, very good blueprints out there. And there's a lot of, why bother reinventing the wheel sort of situation, right? Again, I'm not a fan of some things. Like, I'm not a fan of a nuclear build that throttles the nuclear input. Just shove that crap in as fast as possible, because let's be honest, after you get the Covax process set up, you're never ever going to run out of uranium again. And this power armor is taking forever. Request 8 of them. Does that make it go faster? What are we waiting on? We're waiting on efficiency modules. There is a good chance they don't actually exist in the network. I saw the module builds. I'm going to go by the lack of actually seeing an efficiency module build. I'm going to guess there isn't one. So, no power armor for me. Can I go one worse? Can I get a stock 1 power armor? Surely there'd be one of those in the network. Hell, we'll hedge all out. Oh, done. Done. I'll take that. It's going to be a little bit slower than I like, but it is what it is. We're a little bit faster at least. Okay. So, okay, down the bus. We've got a fairly stock standard copper smelting with 23, which is an odd number. It's Matt. When you watch this, it's one short. Right. It's 24 either side. And again, I would have to, if I was picking a person where I recognize this blueprint from, it would have to be Colonel Will, because I'm pretty sure he's the only one that puts the power poles in the middle between the smelters, so it's less power poles, but it makes the whole build longer. Not a fan. And actually, I think that blueprint is a Mojo fault to start with. Oh, here we go. We've got lots of blueprints. Without descriptions. Oh, wow. Without description. See, that's Mojo train segments, and that's an old version. Based in a book, military science. I'm going to go with Nilaus. Oh boy, that's embarrassing because I'm about to review his base next. Matthew Pocock? Pocock, yep. I'm not a fan of this belt balancer book. I know this one. And a lot of these aren't actually throughput unlimited. So let's go to an 8 to 8. I love pointing out the difference in the 8 to 8. So it's the 4 to 4. Which you can always argue about having the extra splitter on the top. You know, some people say it is, some people say it isn't. I'm a fan of it being there. 8 to 8, that one. So that is a 8 to 8 balancer that's 50% throughput limited. So if you feed in these 4 belts and take out these 4 belts, this one goes across to this side. This one goes across to this side. This one doesn't go from, this belt does not go to that side at all. And this belt does not go to that side at all. So if you ever use this on an outpost, and for some reason the outpost drains because it's an odd shaped outpost and it's draining, it's this side is full and this side's got crappy miners on it. And then you only bother hooking up this to a train because you're running short trains, you're always going to only have half the throughput of this balancer coming through. I hate this blueprint. But this belt balancer thing is super, super popular and it's just stuck. This is a variant on the one I like using. Yeah, it's the one I like using. And I'm willing to bet if I put down that one, this inserter is set to 500. Oh, come on. 5,000. That's even worse. Yeah, that's the one. If you've been watching the channel long enough and you watch my original Gigabase series, this was one I think I stole from Colonel Will and Mojo and Xterminator. Because it's just a beautiful, super compact build. And that's why I love it. I could finally get my speed modules, my efficiency modules. Prod 3, efficiency 3. We'll just dump that there. Maybe the bots will deliver it. And this should be capped at 5. Probably no higher. See, it's even a bad blueprint. Because that's how it is in my blueprint book. By the way, if you want this particular blueprint, blueprint for modules is available. You'd have to search it. Alright, if you search through my old videos for JD Gigabase Series 1 Episode 90 or EP090, I don't know. That's how I literally find the blueprint myself every single time I want this particular blueprint. There's also a red belt to blue belt discrepancy here. Anyway, we've got, grenade builds, little things tacked onto the bus, which is something I would do here, there, and everywhere. But I'm known for my spaghetti. We've got a standard iron build, a very weird steel build. It would work. No denying that. That's probably because I'm only looking at half of it. If the other side was on the opposite half, it would make sense. Along with a brick build. We come over to the bigger module builds. Now, I gotta say, I've been a little bit spoiled. I've been looking at OLEX builds for quite some time when it comes to smelting. Which are highly, highly, highly UPS optimized. Because at the end of the days, when you get to a megabase scale, 9 times out of 10, your smelting is the same size as the rest of the base. So anywhere you can save UPS on smelting, you do so. So if we bring up max rate calculator and we go express transport belt, because that's what it is, you'll see this uses not quite a blue belt in, which is fine, for a blue belt out. But I guess my one little nitpick is these beacons don't cover this particular smelter at both ends. So you'll see, you know, these have a crafting speed of 9.4. This one is down to 2.7, and this is down to 1.7. I don't think the extra smelters will make an ounce of a difference. It is 14 electric furnaces, so I don't think it'll make an ounce of a difference. I just think the last one might run slightly less. And of course, anything that runs less often is less UPS for the cost of a couple of beacons and a little bit more power. So, yeah, just a little, I don't know, nitpick. Or actually, maybe you can get it down. I think you get it down to 13. Yeah, it's an odd number. So this one's probably, and I'm willing to bet now I remember that's an odd number. This one is probably. So we've got 7 outputting to this belt, and then we've got 7 outputting to the other belt. And again, that's probably a... But then this guy's outputting... See, half of them are outputting on both sides of the belt. Like that's outputting to the far side of the belt, that's outputting to the far side of the belt. And then we're squishing them together when we merge up here. So this heavily favours the right side of both belts. Because you can't output, you've got 100 in you. You've got 98. You've got 90 something. Because it's preferencing the right side of the belt. Same as this guy's got 100 in it because he's preferencing the right side of the belt. This guy also has 100 because he's preferencing the right side of the belt. You know, it doesn't have a full draw on it, and that's part of the reason. But yeah, anyway. So, we've got a copper smelter. We've got an iron smelter. All right. We've got a steel smelter. And I stopped and looked at this because I like this build. I like this build and I hate this build. Both at the same time. So we've got 3... outputting plate, running an underground sideways to do 3 doing steel, which is ingenious. I love it. You know, we're now using undergrounds to go left to right rather than up and down. Technically, it means no direct insertion, which means more inserters, and inserters are bad. You know, inserters and pipe are actually the 2 worst things for UPS, which has been one of those things that, you know, as we all try to optimize UPS further and further and further, it's one of those things we've worked out when it comes to, you know, general builds of version 16 that less inserters is better. All right, less active inserters is even better. All right, so it doesn't have direct insertion, but apart from that, I like it. The only thing I couldn't work out is this belt has a zigzag in it to have a second belt, and I'm like, the only time I'd ever do that is for throughput reasons. But I can't see you having a throughput reason here. And then when I did a max rate calculator over the whole top, I'm like, you know, they outputs a quarter of a belt. That's why we've got 4 of them for a full belt of steel. So, like, pick up. It'd be nice if I had a steel pickaxe as well. Hell, I'd settle for any pickaxe. He says, looking at a bunch of steel and a bunch of iron. Has steel pickaxe. So that would be the only change I'd make on this build. To just have it just go straight through and get rid of this second belt entirely. Because it's not actually doing anything. I guess the only thing it would probably be doing is evening out that everything is now going to come out on probably the right-hand side of the belt. But if this is a quarter of a belt, that's a quarter of a belt, that's a quarter of a belt, and that's a quarter of a belt, again, it wouldn't matter. Because you'd be taking... Let's just... I don't have personal bots. I have to do things the old-fashioned way. So you take that belt and slam it into there to give you a full belt. That belt, slam it into there. So these are still half belts each. And then do that again, and that's your full belt. You know, this thing only outputs a quarter of a belt each. Right. So apart from more belt buffer storage, but again, like, you know, not really an issue. I can understand why it's there for iron, but for steel it just didn't make any sense to me. So I'm just going to change these quickly. If I don't run out of undergrounds, which of course I'm going to do. And yeah, you'll see as the belts sort of die off and get used up and just suck up everything. Oh, turns out there's spiders on this map. I had no idea. I didn't even check. So, you know, it'll all crash down in the end and you'll still get a full belt worth of output. But yeah, it was just one of those... Oh, they didn't like that radar. Oh, they're coming to get the rocket! That's rude. Turns out I have a biter overlay on. Lasers, please. Bot's busy with a biter. We've got a couple more copper, a couple more iron over this side. They're coming over and they're doing a green circuit build. And again, oh, I got my lasers. Where's that biter? You can play with my lasery friends. And again, same story. It's one belt which splits into two belts, which runs through to do like the whole lot. And ran a max rate calculator over it, and it's one belt worth of input for 0.8 of an iron, because you know green circuits are slightly more copper heavy than iron heavy, even when you add all the modules and everything else. So again, I didn't understand why that existed, or be more exact, why that existed. It works just as well with just a straight through of just the copper. Again, it's the UPS, you know, nitpicking in myself that goes, it's just a little bit less, and a little bit less is less processing, and less processing is better. Because yeah, and again, it's 1.2 belts worth out. You've got, I don't even know what to call this. This is some sort of messed up 3 to 2. You do 0.3 of a belt, so 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. I'd be doing the exact same. I'd be taking this down to one belt, but I wouldn't be like, this just causes... It's the optimist. It's the optimist in me that goes, you know, this is technically correct if you want to use equally from all the belts, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter whether you're using it equally or not, or whether you're just using it. So I'd be doing that. Yeah. And I'd probably even be doing that. No, I'd be moving that underground back to there and doing that, because that's even neater again. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so we've got lots of green circuits. We've got 6 lanes of dedicated green circuits. And then we'll actually run over to the bus. Now, the bus, look, I will admit, it's a wonderful bus. Alright, it is perfect. It is straight lines. It's 4 lanes of each, which is technically probably a little bit low. Mega basing scale, I'm definitely, now in most of my playthroughs, I'm looking at way more than 4 belts. I'm normally looking at... There's no lasers. There is no lasers. It's a make everything that doesn't make everything. If this make everything makes nukes, it needs to be nuked. It doesn't make everything. In fact, I don't even see lasers in there. Nope. Oh, yeah, they are. There's the make everything for lasers, and they're off. Okay, it's a make everything that needs some work. So, a beautiful bus. Really, really beautiful. He's got gears coming directly onto the belt. And, okay, yeah, I realize it's got to move from one side to the other. It's a bit of a... There you go, Matt. Just improving on your spaghetti a little bit. From a spaghetti master. Same story. I not that they can probably run faster. They could probably run a little bit faster. I'd be adding more beacons. I'm always a fan of more beacons. More beacons is always better. He's got dedicated gears. And the one thing, and I wish I did it more in my own playthroughs, the one thing I love about dedicated gear runs is it means when you module these guys, you've only got to module these guys. Not every single time you use gears for direct insertion all the way up the bus. And my playthroughs, that's generally a lot of gear builds. Although I'm a fan of direct insertion, I think for most bus spaces, this works a lot better in the long run because it's less modules. It's less modules. Once you speed that up, you're done. You just don't worry about it. We've got red and green science. Again, nothing special here. We've got our lab set up, which is using belt braiding for all 7 science packs straight into labs. We're working on robot speed 10, so we're doing fine there. Obviously... So we have back here, we've got a copper turning right, and some irons turning right. So there was a green circuit build here. You can see it's now gone. We've been replaced with a dedicated one over to the left. We did have green circuits, gears, iron, stone, purple cyan? No? Probably the original make everything here, which is again gone. Yeah, there's lots of different belts of different types. So again, probably a make everything that's gone. We've got steel coming, copper coming. Yeah, there was a make everything right here. We've got red circuits, which is coming from this side. And again, lovely little build. Except this copper machine can't keep up with this many unless there's something I'm not seeing. No. This copper machine is feeding that way. Oh, and this one's feeding that way. Oh, so there was something I didn't see. So there to there. So it's one copper machine. We've got overproduction of 1, but we have a belt throughput limit. So you're actually dealing with those 5. Okay, so I've got 1 copper machine for 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. So I've got 1 copper machine per 8. So this copper's going that way. Which direction that belt going in? That's going in that direction, which is then hard capping there. So I've got this one doing 6. Is that right? Double purpose. So this one's doing 6, and this one's also doing 3. But some of its copper cable's going to the next one. I don't know. I would definitely have to play with this particular red circuit build in creative mode. But I am always a fan of smashing the 2 belts together and splitting them both ways. Right? He's then running green circuits and copper so far, and then brings the other belt across and merges it in. Along with, you know, red circuits out, copper down the middle. It's a very little compact build. I am a fan. In fact, I can actually say I've never ever seen this build before. It does have, you know, turning in of red circuits into an underground to move it across different sides of the belt. It's a very compact little build, and like I said, I've never seen it before. Or I have, but it didn't stick. I don't know. We're making plastic on site with coal and petroleum. Petroleum does come from... Now I've got a power armor Mark 2. I can run there in a hurry. It does come here from a dedicated oil build, which is all the way down here. Which is, for me, a little bit too far to be piping liquids. And this is a Nilaus oil in a book, or whatever it's called. No. I'm actually looking for the blueprint now. Yeah, Mojo make everything. I was right. There we go. Oil base. Oil-based acid. Oh, I'm glad he didn't use that acid build. That looks horrible. Ooh. Plastic, rocket fuel. Coal liquefaction. It doesn't... Oh, there's the refineries. Do they line up? No. Really no. Oh, hang on. I ran the wrong way. Do they line up now? No. Okay. So it's not that blueprint. Ooh, wrong button. Starter base, starter base. Oh, there's an oil processing there. Red and green science, gears, smelter, oil processing. Again, nope, not that one. Oh, whatever. It definitely reminds me of the Nilaus based in a book. I think he actually did a whole series on it. So you start nanobot. Nanobot's normally Katherine of Sky, and I think I don't know. We got solar. We got a Mad Serious solar. We got a lab build. We got a bit of everything. Right? I really appreciate people that build their own bases. I also appreciate people that take pre-made blueprint stamps of different sections of bases and find out what they like and they dislike, and then just like stamp them together and get them working together. When I saw Nilaus's original, oil in a book series that he did, all right? Because I watch Nilaus, I watch Xterminator, I watch Katherine of Sky, I watch a lot of the other YouTubers to see what they do and how they do things different from me. And when I first saw this, I'm like, that's a mess. I understand it's dumbed down, for a better, lack of a better word, for new players, and I appreciate that. But I looked at it and go, I couldn't actually live with that. And like this has got circuit conditions on it. It's this only runs if we've got more than 20,000 heavy oil, and then heavy oil run along here and cracked, and light oil comes out and gets fed into the tank. And same story as if this is less than 1k petroleum, this runs, and because we've got more than 1k, we're not cracking our light and heavy, which I'm not a fan of. I normally sent mine the other way around, so we keep 10k, everything else gets cracked into petroleum, because that's where we actually really want everything. And our light oil, see, same story, we got a second pump here, which is not wired up, and that second pump will come up and go across and do our rocket fuel. So yeah, we've got, again, good practices. We've got a wood burner. It is short a few wood products. The biters are back. I like burning all the wood products. There we go. There were 4 power poles. 4 power poles that could have been turned into precious, precious power. Really, Factorio? Really? I don't have a request chest. I would so fill that with a... Yeah. Fill that with a request chest and a passive provider and just get rid of it. Even with a burner miner. Go for it. Anyway, make everything. Green circuits, copper, red and blue science. We got a military, and I don't get this build because it's one of these to 3 of these. And I understand that the favoring of direct insertion, but they don't use that much steel. And because they don't use that much steel, I normally output onto the steel belt and then pull it back in for the AP ammo belt. But okay. I like this, I think. It does worry me because this takes 8 seconds, this takes 10 seconds. But these require a lot of materials in. And the fact that you're bringing in 20 iron plate via a long-handed inserter is probably not a good thing. If Matt, if you're happy with this build and you want to keep running with this build, my only suggestion is somehow slide this assembler along one tile so you can get 2 long-handeds in. And same with this one, slide over one tile so you can get 2 long-handers in, but that means your underground's not going to reach, and that becomes a whole lot of your problem. Actually, how far will a red underground reach? So a red underground would reach far enough to get over 2 assemblers. Okay, we're just going to spaghetti stuff up for a second. There and there. Copy and paste. We've just broken everything for a minute, but that's fine. I have some splitters. They're the wrong color, but we're not working on colors at the moment. We're working on does it work. And I don't know. I don't have long-handed inserters. Okay, so that's what I'd be doing. It means the copper's passing around. And obviously you need more power poles, but that seems like a easy enough fix, you know, especially when I can blueprint everything into place. Where the hell are they? Oh, they're over there eating an outpost. Phew, let them go. Because these need a lot of iron. Like a lot of iron. Oh, I missed that sort of. We'll take the iron out. Actually, we'll take the whole assembler out. Like, it's good on every item except the iron. And then it takes 8 seconds to craft, and you need another one within 10 seconds. You've only got a 2-second difference. So yeah, that would be my change. I'd be just crushing them down to fit in a couple extra long-hand inserts. I realise that running it this way with the belts down the middle means that, you know, you've only got 1 iron belt for all the grenades plus all these, which probably too much on your iron belt, to be honest. Let's just do a quick 0.9 iron belt. Wow, I actually thought it'd be too much. But yeah, that would be my small modification. That one. We've got a blue science. Same story. Lots of stuff in. Again, same story. These belts are probably not going to have enough throughput. No, I'm wrong again. Oh, we are running express transport belt, fast transport belt. On a red belt, in theory they got enough. Okay, let's run that on fast transport belt. Yeah, 1.5 belts. That's what I thought. You need 2 iron belts to get this to run, and that's why I've never seen this build before, because it's just not going to be fast enough. Anyway, we've got good old miners and red circuits from off and abroad, and engines, which we'll get to, into blue science. I haven't built these for a while, but I have always been a fan of the undergroundy, you know, straight line. I don't know what you call this type of build, but I am a fan of it. We got an engine build, which is, you know, nothing complicated. Gears, pipes, bam, make engines. All right, take your excess engines and turn them into electric engines. Same story, like lube in one side, you know, materials in the other. Excess electric engines come out, go to purple science. Purple science has got these guys. Again, like, you know, I'd normally have more. I'd have 7 of these. 7 of these running with like 5 of these running from memory. 5 seconds, yeah. I'd have 5 of these running, so I've always got to tweak my belts a little bit further to get more product, you know, more out of my machines, because I'm not at the stage of having beacons and modules yet. Yellow science, I don't know. I'm like a 1:2 ratio is perfectly fine, and we'll even use max rate calculator to double check. Yeah, we have an overproduction of half a machine because of all the modules and everything. A 1:4 is correct. I've yet to see a 1:4 build that actually works. I tried. It was a mess. Never go there again. So a 1:2 build works. This is very, very compact. Again, the beacons just always are a bit short. They should just be further out to get better coverage. And because this is an odd number of tiles, like this one has a crafting speed of 4.25. This one's 4.25, 5.5, 3.62. It's a little bit all over the place. So yeah, back to the other side of the bus, we've got sulfuric sulfuric acid. I'd like to claim this build as mine, but I don't think it is. Because mine often have all the pipes coming out the side for extra mess, which is probably not needed. It's a very nice, tidy build. It is perfectly ratioed, which I love. I love there's no excess machines doing nothing. And of course, we're making batteries. We've got what's left of a stone mine here. We've got our excess electric engines from over here. Getting spat across the bus, and the bus is perfect. It's every 4 lanes, you know, there's an underground. Even though a lot of them aren't required yet, I just build them straight and fix them up later. Out to robot frames, so we've got a heap of robot frames, which are then obviously being dragged off to make everything. We got a blue circuit build, which I don't understand some of the spaghetti. So no, we're not on fast, we're on express. Express, I said. So we've got 2 green belts in, 1, 2 coming down to produce 0.1 of a belt out, and then it goes to a funky. Again, I don't understand the funky. There's as far as I can see, there's no need. It's coming out on the bottom side. This is also coming out on the bottom side. When you mash them together, you get on both sides done. Yeah, I don't understand these. A lane balancer, as it's been coined. I don't understand why people use them. I just, you know. You're on the bottom side. Done. It's now on both sides. You know, this does one side, this does the other. The inserters grab from whichever side's full or whichever side's empty. They don't care. We got our rocket control build, our low density structure build, rocket fuel's being brought up from the bottom of the base. We've got a plastic build here, which is again just dedicated to just this little bit. With our satellite here with all the excess components it needs to make satellites to shove, rocket, good, boom, launch. So, that's MattP's base. Apart from I make everything that doesn't make lasers, which is now leading to outposts being eaten. And I should turn this overlay off. It's a very, very neat base made up of like some unique designs, some pre-made blueprints, a little bit of everything. It's different and unique. I will give it that much. It's been the first time I've wandered through a base of so many contributors and YouTubers and Twitch streamers and so many members of the community. I've seen all their imprints of their bases and their blueprints, right? All, you know, in one base, right? And yeah, as proven, this works beautifully. You know, it's preferencing the left side, probably because more inserters are grabbing from that side of the belt, but you know, it works. It works beautifully. So, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry it's been such a gap between base tours, but look, we're back on track. School holidays are over. My life returns to semi-normal. And I will see you guys for the next base tour. Thanks for watching. Bye.